XRP Fakeout before expansion. I'm going to start off with a little quote. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And I'm going to put my own spin on it. The greatest lie or trick the market makers have ever pulled was convincing you that this bull run was over and that we're not about to head into a massive expansion in 2026. So in today's update, we're going to break it down, how XRP has been moving with the broader crypto market to start off this year, a massive breakout signal that we just got from the Russell 2000, and what this means for your crypto portfolio. Let's get right on into the update. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. And I wanted to say thank you for all the support recently, guys. As we closed off 2025, came into the new year, the energy has been tremendous. We are remaining positive, focused, and absolutely locked in. Just this past week, got to go take a look at my son that's on the way here soon. My wife, she's now 8 months pregnant. We're getting there to the final stretch. And we did a 3D ultrasound to go see that baby boy in there. And I believe he does have my butt chin. So sorry, son. And I did go down to the doctor's on Friday too to get my ticker checked off. And we are all good with 2 bull valves in me. And that's why it's perfect timing as we head into the expansion in 2026. And I just want to say thank you for all the support, kind words, and messages of support that you guys have sent my way recently. Let's get into the update. So we're looking at XRP expanding up 33% to start off the new year. This is the fake out, right? Why am I titling today's update XRP Fake Out before expansion? Because the market makers faked us out by convincing us that we weren't going to see a 2026 bull run. We were going into an extended bear market like we've seen in the previous 4-year cycles. My thesis that I'm running with right now is that we're in an extended cycle. You could maybe call it a super cycle for Bitcoin and XRP and a few assets that did hit new all-time highs in 2025 and will continue to new highs. But for the broader space that really didn't see new all-time highs, XLM, HBAR, and other cryptos like that, I would consider that to be an extended cycle, not a super cycle. 33% move up to 241 here to start off the new year. Massive fake out right here, right? New year, new us, New Year's resolution. It's a good time. And the market makers just juice this sucker. XRP moves 33%. This is it, right? We're breaking out. And then they pull that sucker back hard. Let's take a look at it here. Back on down to about 206 for XRP, and we're closing off the week here. It looks like right at about 208, 209, and we're hoping that we can hold this as we close off the week. And I'm going to show you here on the weekly chart, we've broken out. We absolutely did break out of this trend line that has been resistance going all the way back to October. On the weekly chart here, you can see clear breakout to start off the new year. This weekly candle started in 2025 and then rolled on into the new year. And then we have this candle that we're about to close here today. And you can see the problem here is that we just printed a massive gravestone doji, which is what this candle is right here. It's an inverse T, right? So you got this wick all the way up here to 240, brings it back down. And it looks like we're going to close off right here. Now, as with everything in TA, it can kind of be moving, kind of subjective, and nothing is a guarantee. But I wanted to point this out that this could be a massive fake out where they do bring us back down one more time here. We have big catalysts coming up this week. I'm going to break down everything to look forward to. You're going to want to stay tuned. This is going to be a big week of updates. But the market narrative with a gravestone doji candle like this is that the bulls attempted to push to new highs over the session, but bears pushed the price action to near the open by the session close. Now, this is a weekly candle, so this isn't a one-day session. We're looking at a weekly candle here. So it is a longer duration time frame. The problem, and why I'm not getting too bearish right now, is there is no volume, right? In a low volume environment, it's easy for the market makers to juice it, pump it up, and also to pull it back down. And so you never really want to trust these patterns, especially if it's in a low volume environment. It says right here from Investopedia, although a gravestone doji can mark the end of a downtrend, it's more often seen at the end of an uptrend. Although the gravestone doji is popular, it suffers from the same reliability issues as many visual patterns. traders usually wait for the next candle to confirm a reversal before acting on a gravestone doji. So are we absolutely going down? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying right now is that the market makers are playing with us. That's very clear. I'm stating the obvious. But the point being, how do you prepare? How do you take advantage of this? I have my downside order set, waiting to buy the dips if they give it to us. But then we're also looking at the targets to the upside and what levels do we need to break to confirm that this new trend is really set in stone and that we have broken out. The level that we're watching right now for XRP is 240, right? The level that we went up to start off the new year was 240, but we rejected off of it. To confirm new trend, new structure, and breakout, we need to break above 240 and hold it. Back to this weekly chart right here, you can see the structure goes all the way back here into November and October. And this is part of a downtrend that we've been in since July of last year when we topped out at a new all-time high for XRP at $3.66. So part of this on the shorter time frames is this fake out to start the new year. They juice it up, pull it back down, and we very well could get another sweep low. On the macro timeframes, on the higher timeframes, it's a fake out of convincing retail to leave crypto. And I'm going to talk about this in a separate update about how crypto kind of did this to ourselves. Instead of really moving our industry forward focused on utility, we rug pulled everybody with scam coins launching thousands of scam tokens every day, rug pulling people that are just now getting into crypto, and we wonder why people are leaving and they're going to prediction markets, they're going to sports betting, they're going back to the stock market, they're going to precious metals. They're not coming to crypto, right? Or they left crypto after dipping their toes in the water last year. In 2026, and I've talked about this already, but we're going to focus on utility as we already have been, but that needs to be the broader focus in the crypto industry and sector as a whole if we want to get people in and keep them. And retail probably is not going to come in till it's too late, and they're not seeing the signals that we have in front of us. They're not seeing the fundamentals that we have in front of us. So part of the macro fake out that I'm talking about and referring to in this video is convincing everybody that we're going into a bear market and that we're not going to go into an extended cycle and see new all-time highs in 2026. We just received a massive bullish signal, and a signal that confirms that an alt season is right around the corner. And that would be the Russell 2000 breaking out to new all-time highs. For those of you guys who don't know, the Russell 2000 tracks U.S. small cap stocks, small cap companies in America. And so it's basically like altcoins for stocks, right? And these are the highest risk part of traditional markets. They only lead when money is flowing back into the system and investors are willing to take risk again. So it's a sign that investors are seeing an expansion in the broader economy. Right now, we've been talking about this and breaking this down, how QE's coming back, Treasury's doing buybacks, Fed's ended quantitative tightening. They're now doing quantitative easing in the form of reverse repo markets and reserve management, right? Don't call it QE, but really it is QE. And then we got lower interest rates coming in, and the business cycle already has started to swing up on services. And now we're waiting to see the manufacturing sector survey start to move back up as well. But we just received a massive bullish signal here from the Russell 2000 hitting a new all-time high this past week. And every single time this has happened, it has marked the beginning of an alt season. And so we're looking at this chart right here. Huge shout out to Bull Theory for putting this together. You can see this is the Russell 2000 and the timing of this confirming, right? When this thing breaks out, that's when we're going into that alt season right here at the end of 2016 into 2017. That's right, 2017 bull run. Run it back up. And then you see here Q4 2020. This is after we'd had the 2020 simulation event that crashed us out. And then later that year in 2020 is when we broke out. In Q4 of 2020, we break out for the Russell 2000. And that's right when we went into that massive bull run in the alt season, and XRP topped out in April of 2021, which is right up in here, right? April right up in here, and then November right up in here. Sliding on over to Q4 2025, same exact pattern playing out. We got a retest of these lows on the Trump tariffs launched in April of last year. Now we get a breakout. And so we're going to be watching this very closely now. Here's the Russell 2000 chart up at 2,624. First time ever above 2,600, new all-time high. But it's the week ahead, right? Especially with this gravestone doji candle that it printed on the XRP weekly chart. You can't trust this on a low volume. And so in particular with crypto, right, we want to see confirmation here with the next couple weekly candles. And the next week ahead is going to be massive, not just for crypto, but for markets as a whole. Kobesi letter here with the summary. Key events this week. We got the markets reacting to Trump's call for 10% credit card rate cap. December CPI inflation comes out on Tuesday. October new home sales data on Tuesday as well. November PPI inflation on Wednesday. Supreme Court tariff ruling expected on Wednesday. And it's so funny how on the Russell 2000, the Trump tariffs, right, probably brought in that bottom in that back test of support. And then now the Trump tariff ruling that we're going to get on Wednesday, I think that they're going to be upheld. That's just my opinion, and my take on it is that they're going to be, deemed constitutional. And this is probably going to mark the beginning of, that next expansion. And I think that, say what you want about President Trump, whether you like him or hate him, what's his strategy right now? And the Republicans as a whole, in my opinion, they want to juice this market like never before. I think Trump wants to take credit for a 50,000 Dow. I think he wants to take credit for, we already are at new all-time highs for the stock market, but I think they want to juice this sucker. They want lower rates. They're going to expand back into QE. They're already doing it with the Treasury as well, too. And then on top of that, right, you have the $200 billion in mortgage bonds that he has ordered, partners to buy back. So they're doing $200 billion in mortgage bond quantitative easing, essentially, right? All of this to juice our markets as a whole. He's going to ban, large investors from being able to invest in single-family homes. So he's trying to bring down the cost of housing. He's trying to juice this stock market, put money back into the hands of everyday Americans with the largest tax cuts and refunds, dropping regulations. They're trying to juice it right now. Now, we also have the January Philly Fed Manufacturing Index is going to be released on Thursday, and then the crypto markup is going to be released on Thursday as well. So it's going to be a very volatile week, and the weeks ahead, I think, confirm the pattern, whether we're still going to be, trading within this range, or if this breakout was for real, right? So right now, we have our order set to the downside, ready to buy the dip if they give it to us. And to the upside here, this expansion is going to be a beautiful way to bring in the new year if it is confirmed. But we're going to be watching this closely over the next week. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. We're going to have full coverage for you in the week ahead. And it's an exciting 2026 for sure. And we're really hopeful that the expansion is coming sooner rather than later. But I am certain, I do believe 100%, that we are going to see the expansion at some point here this year, whether we're moving up now here in January or whether it's going to take a couple months. That is yet to be seen, but the expansion of 2026 absolutely on the way. We are completely prepared, locked in, and we're going to stay focused all of 2026 so that we can win in a major way. Appreciate your support. Everything else is at my website, zachrector.com, and we will see you guys in the next update. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.